Hello everybody and welcome to your Wednesday maths lesson. I hope you have enjoyed all your learning so far. We have really loved seeing all your amazing work, so please do keep sending us it in. So today's math then, we're going to take our next step. So let's rewind. We've done multiplying by one-digit numbers. So today we're going to take that next step and we're going to move into multiplying by two-digit numbers, okay? But before we get going, let's wake our brain up with our usual little rewind. I'm going to share my screen with you. So all I want you to do in your book really quickly is to rewind our method from yesterday using our short multiplication to get me an answer for this. So pause this video, have a little go at it, and then come on back when you have got your answer. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at that. I've started to write mine and I've found my ruler today. So I'm going to draw my little answer bed, my little answer box right there. So let me remember how to do this. I start with my ones. 7 times 5 5, 5 to 15, 20, 25, 35. So remember, I can't put 35 in this box, so I need to put my 5 ones, and I've got 30, which I know is 3 tens. So now 6 times by 5, 30, and I've got my 3. I've not got another hundreds column to do any more working out, so I know that both of these numbers can go into my answer bed. I've got 3 tens and I've got 3 hundreds. So 67 times 5 is 335. Give yourself a big tick if you have got that correct. Well done. So let's move on to today then. So as I've just said, we're going to be multiplying by two-digit numbers, but we're not going to go straight into using our multiplication, our column multiplication. We're going to start off by using our known factor. We're going to go back to that partitioning. So just keep that in mind. You might want to have a little flick back to Monday to see how we partitioned using the one-digit numbers. You might be able to see how we're going to start to times by two-digit numbers. And why we're going to do that so that we can begin to find an efficient method. So this is more that you could do mentally. And then tomorrow we are going to move on to using our written method. So here we go. Let's have a little look at this then. So what's the same and what's the difference? I've already given you a huge clue, because obviously the last 2 days we have been timesing by one-digit numbers. This time we are timesing by two-digit numbers. So my number sum here is 28 times by 26. All I would like you to do is just to pause this video and thinking about that partitioning. That's why I've put that little clue here for your partitioning. What smaller calculations could I do that would help me to get my whole answer at the end? So just want to pause this video and just write down any smaller multiplications that you might be able to do. So you might again want to flick back to Monday's work to see how we did it there, to see if we can think of some quicker, shorter ways that we could work this out. Okay, so hopefully you've had a little look at that and you've got lots of different smaller calculations that we could do that would still help us to get this answer. So what I'm going to do, just tilt that up a little bit, is I'm going to partition both of my numbers. So I've got 20, I've got 8, I've got 20, and I've got 6. Now, these numbers are much more manageable than those ones, okay? So the first one that I could do is 20 times by 20. Okay. The next one I might do is 20 times by 6. The next one I could do is 8 times by 20. So you see how I'm going to the other one now. So I've done the 20, I'm going to do the 8. And 8 times by 6. So they are the 4 smaller calculations that we could do to solve this. Now, at the minute, this just looks like a lot of crazy number sentences. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to go back to that wonderful power maths method of using the different boxes. Okay, so originally we were timesing by a one-digit number. So I partitioned my number here and then I had my 1 here. But this time I've got a 2-digit and a 2-digit. So now I'm going to have my 4 areas that I'm going to multiply. So 28 times by 26. I'm going to partition 20 and 8 20, and 6. Can you see how that's already starting to look more manageable? Because I can see it, I can visualize it. So in this box here, I need to do 20 times by 20. In this box here, I'm going to do 20 times by 8. In this one here, I'm going to do 6 times by 20. And in this one, I'm going to do 6 times by 8. Now, I already know that one straight away because that's one of my easier ones. So it's 48. This one here, I can do because I can times it and then make it 10 times bigger. I'm just going to make myself a little bit bigger there because I'm sure you're struggling to see me. There we go. You see me now? There we go. So 6 times by 2, which I know is 12, and I'm going to make it 10 times bigger, so shift them to the left, and there is my placeholder. Now this one here, 20, and I'm timesing it by 20, so I can just do the same again. So 20 times by 2, which is 40, and I'm going to shuffle it across to the left and add my placeholder. Okay? And again, same again with this way, even though it's the other way around, I can still do it. 2 times by 8 is 16, and I can make it 10 times bigger. So move it to the left and add my placeholder. So now you will start to see that I've got 4 different parts. So what do you think my next step is going to be? Hoping you're all saying to add them together, of course. So I'm going to use my column method because these are all quite large numbers. So 400, I'm going to add 160. So this is really careful. Make sure that you're getting the right numbers written down because you don't want to do all of this hard work and then realise that you've written the wrong numbers at the end to add them together. I know a few of you did that on Monday when you were in school on the first Monday back. Let's not make those mistakes. Okay, so now I can add them all together. So ones, I've got 8 here. I know 6 and 4 is my number bonds to 10. So I know I've got 12, which means I need to rename 4, 5, 6, 7. My answer to 28 times 26 is 728. Okay, which is so much easier than trying to work it out straight in your head rather than trying to guess it and do it wrong. Okay, so here you can see I've partitioned my numbers. So if you want to write this down, copy this down to remind yourself for future questions. So I partition my numbers and then I times them together. So just like that method that we used on Monday. So let's see if we can apply that now then to this question here. You can see, let me just make that a little bit bigger for you. There we go. See if we can go one more. One more. Just down for you. So here you can see that our little builder friends, just going to make myself a little bit smaller again, that our builder friends are using this method that we've just done together there. Okay, they're trying to work out the new supermarket floor plan. So question A is, what will the length of the new supermarket be? And what will the width of your supermarket be? Okay, so that's asking you to look at your parts and work out what your number sentence is going to be. And then you want to work out the total area of the new supermarket. So rewind, what is area? So just have a think. What is area and what do we have to do to work it out? I'm hoping that you're rewinding and you can remember the area. We need 2 sides of our shape, obviously because it's a rectangle. I get my length and my width and I times them together, which is coincidentally a 2-digit number times a 2-digit number. Okay, so could you use this method here that we've just done to try and find out what the area would be of that supermarket there? Okay, so pause this video. Once you've done that, if you then go along, you can have a go at your evaluate it. Which, is there a more efficient method that you could use if you already know it? If not, is there a quicker way that you could get to your answer? And then there's a little convince me there for you to have a go at. Where have I made the mistakes and can you unpick what mistakes I have made? So pause this video, have a little go at your discovery question, and then there's some mastery glasses for you to have a go at. Okay, so hopefully you have had a go at that now, and your model looks a little bit like mine on the board. So you can see I've already started to set it up. So I've managed to get my length of the supermarket, which is this length here. So I've got a 20 and an 8, which put together, back together is 28. And then down the side for my width, I've got a 10 and a 5 meters, 10 meters and 5 meters. So my total width is 15 meters. So to get my area, I need to do 28 times by 15. Okay, so I've set that up already. 20 and 8, I've just removed the information that they've drawn on there, and I've added in my multiplications, my small chunks of multiplications that's going to help me put it all together. So hopefully, have a little look. I'm going to give you the answers, give yourself little ticks if you've got them right. If you didn't get them quite right, can you see what mistakes you have made? And then hopefully you won't make that same mistake again, because you can learn from your mistakes. It's okay to make them as long as we learn from them. So 10 times by 20, I'm going to use my times in making it 10 times bigger skill again. So 10 times by 2 is 20, and I'm going to make it 10 times bigger, so 200. 10 times by 8, nice and easy, your times tables. 10 times 8 is 80. Again, I'm going to use my making it 10 times bigger skill. So 5 times by 2 is 10. I'm going to make it 10 times bigger. And 5 times by 8 is your times tables, which is 40. Okay, so I've got all my parts now. What I need to do to get my final answer is add them all together. So again, I'm going to use my column method. So I've got 200, I've got 80, I've got 100, and I've got 40. Now, this is a really, really good skill for you to have, because I still use this now a lot in my mental calculations, because you can partition that number. You haven't got pen and paper in your head. Eventually, when you get more confident at this, you might be able to do these in your head. So you can do bigger sums because you are partitioning that number in your head. But practice, 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 and then hopefully you'll be able to do this in your head. So 0, 0, 0, 0 add 0 is 0. 8 add 4 is 12. So again, 2, rename that 1, 10 tens into 100. I've got 200, 1 more 100, and that, so I've got 4. So the answer to 28 times 15 is 420. I'm hoping that you're starting to see how this method is really, really helpful to times 2-digit numbers. So let's move on then to have a little practice. Let's have a look. So what I'd like you to do is, this one has all been set out for you. I'm just going to make myself a little bit smaller so I'm not in the way. So here you go. I would like you to have a go at this one for me. So it's all been already set out for you. So I just want you to copy it into your books for you. So you've got one part that's filled in, but the rest of it you need to have a go at. So pause this video, have a little go at this, and see if you can get me the answer. Okay, so you can see here that I have just drawn out simply what was on this question here. So the first thing that I notice is they've got 18 down the side here, and they've already partitioned it into a 10. So I know that you should have had an 8 down there. Then next job, I need to partition my 52. So I know it's 50 and it is 2. Okay, so I'm just going to change my pen because it's about to run out. Have another one. This one. So here, I'm just going to simply look at my parts and write down my number sentences. 8 times by 3 and 8 times by 3. Okay, so 8 times by 2, I can do that one straight away. I'm hoping you've all got 16. Give yourself a little tick if you're getting these right. If not, again, make sure you have a look and unpick where you made that little mistake so that you can learn from it. Here, 8 times 50. I'm going to do 8 times 5, which I know is 40, and I'm going to make it 10 times bigger because it's 50, it's not 5, 400. I'm going to do 10 times by 5. Oh, nearly wrote it then. 10 times by 5, which is 50, and again, I need to make it 10 times bigger because my times in by 50, and 10 times by 2, I can use that in my brain. And the final step, adding them all together. So we've got 500, I've got 20, I've got 400, it's going to be a big one, this one is, and I've got 16. So same again, Adding them all together, I've got 6 ones, I've got 3 tens, and I've got 9 hundreds. So my answer to 52 times 18 is 936. So well done to you if you got that right. Give yourself a big pat on the back. Fantastic. Again, if you did make a little bit of mistake, have a little look through. It's absolutely fine. And just work out what little mistake you made and see if you can correct it for me. Wonderful. So now we are going to get into our practice books. Now, nothing in this book is any different to what we've been practicing. So it's just a chance for you to keep going over it and going over it so that you become more confident with this partitioning method. So you will see in your practice book, if you're not sure, you can download the Power Maths practice book. The link is on your timetable so that you can have it in front of you. If you haven't got access to it, that's absolutely fine. You can just do this in your book, just like we've been doing with our practice ones this morning. So you can see question 1 is very simply 1A is already all set out for you. They've done all the partitioning. You just need to complete the multiplication sentences and do your column method to get your answer at the bottom. B, they've given you the blank setup, so you just need to fill in the different parts, and then they've given you a blank box to put your column method into to add all your answers together at the end. C, you are looking at somebody's method to see if they would get the same answer that you got in B with that method. So that's using just some of your general multiplication knowledge there. 2, you are going to be just simply doing, again, your own method. So you've got A and B. Question 3, you're then applying that into a word problem. So you need to pick out the information, work out what multiplication, and they've given you a completely blank box. So this is where you can either refer back to your maths book, so you've got the squares to help you, or you can just do it in that box. So partitioning method. And then question 4, again, you are then looking for the mistakes. Okay, so this can be a bit tricky, but if you've made a mistake in the first 2, you probably know some of the mistakes that Bella might be making if you've already made them, which is another reason why making those mistakes and learning from them is great, because you can then support other children. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you get onto your next question, so this one is again looking at somebody else's method. What have they done that's not quite right? So thinking about what our steps were and what Gina has done slightly wrong, or what she's done right. You need to explain. It says there that she's made a mistake. So what has she done wrong that you can help her to fix? And then question 6 is your challenge. So again, if you think after the first few questions, I still need a little bit more practice on this, feel free to just put the Power Maths book down and just get practicing in your book, because this is really going to help you in your learning in the future, as I say, with your mental maths and answering all of those 2 times by 2-digit number questions. And that is then your reflect. So you can then explain your methods. So you can have a look here and see what Gina has written, because you already know that she's made a mistake somewhere in there. So you can use that to prompt your thinking. But it's simply just giving me the step by step. What would you do first? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? And then what would you do at the end? Okay. So hopefully you will be able to fly through that, and you can make your show off all your amazing learning at home. And also remember to be sending it to Miss Higgins and I over our portfolio, so that we can see all the great work that you are doing. I look forward to seeing all of this, and I will see you again tomorrow, where we're going to move on to using our written methods. See you soon.